Good evening. It's Thursday, October 25th, and thanks for making time to join us here on PM Express. As always, my name is Stephen Enti. Tonight, embroiled in a heated bribery controversy is one man who has successfully been at the forefront of Ghana's electoral system, at least since the return to democracy in 1992. Now, from the private quarters of one disqualified presidential candidate comes an allegation so thunderous it threatens the very foundation upon which the EC stands. 1,600 Ghana cedis bribe, allegedly paid to trap two directors at the Electoral Commission by the New Vision party candidate Prophet Incoom, is hushing up fears that the EC is not above reproach. Now, this has heightened national anxiety that perhaps the commissioner might be compromised. With the rising implosive tension, the dread of the unknown, and the silent desperation that appears to engulf the election period, we ask the question that appears to be begging for answers. Now, should we say our bye-byes to the EC boss, Kwejo Afarijan? If not, can we trust the results of the December 7 ballot? You can share your view, concerns, fears, suggestions, and questions with us here by text 1760 PM Express. Tonight, I'm expecting in the studio David Kanga, former deputy chairman of the Electoral Commission, and I have on the phone Prophet Daniel Incoom, the disqualified New Vision party presidential candidate. Later on in the show, we'll also work the phone lines to have a chat with Dr. Michael White Pesa, who is a research fellow at the University of Ghana. Right now, though, we have Prophet Daniel Incoom on the line now. Prophet, good evening. Good evening, Prophet Incoom.
Thank you.
How are you feeling this night?
Oh, everything is normal.
Very normal. You were very angry at the Electoral Commission, right?
Hello, come again, please.
I'm saying you were very angry at the Electoral Commission, right?
Yeah.
And right now, what have you done over your court action?
Well, we took the court action on Monday. We served the Electoral Commission on the same Monday, and the court gave us a date on 26th, which will be tomorrow, that we have to meet Electoral Commission at the court. But it's unfortunately, tomorrow will be a holiday for the Muslims. So we had an information from the court that they have served another hearing notice that the court case will come on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, we are going to meet the Electoral Commission at the court.
Okay, Prophet, now tell me, the way this case is going, are you still confident that you can contest this year's election?
Hello, come again. The line is very faint.
Right. That's fine. I'll repeat my question. I'm saying that, are you still going to contest the election?
Can I still going to contest the election?
Yes.
Oh, yes, we are waiting for the court to decide. When the court decide that the Electoral Commission must accept my nomination, I'm ready to contest the election. So we are waiting for the court action, what the court will tell us on Tuesday before we know what to do. As for New Vision Party, we have prepared all the grounds. I have torn all the 10 regions, and I can assure you, and I'm telling you, when the Electoral Commission give me the chance, or the court order the Electoral Commission to accept my nomination forms, and they give me the chance to contest, I'm going to win the election one touch. No party will even challenge me. No party can stand before me. I'm going to win the election one touch in this 2012 election.
Right. Prophet, winning the election one touch is a lot of work. Do you have what it takes to win?
Hello, come again, please.
I'm saying that. Right. Yeah. I'm saying that winning the election is a big deal. Are you qualified to win the election?
Hello?
I'm saying that winning the election is a difficult job. Do you have the skill to win an election and form the next government?
Well, it is difficult to those who don't have the confidence in God. It is difficult to those who don't have the trust in God. Prophet Nkansa was appointed by God since 2008 to form this political party to take over this nation as God sent Moses to go and redeem the Israelites from the Egypt. So I can assure you God is in control. God is leading Prophet Nkansa in all my campaign, my organization, my everything. So I believe when I have the chance, I'm going to win this election. And apart from the power of God, I have worked. I've toured all the 10 regions. I've given free health insurance to most of the people in Ghana here, because in my manifesto, in our manifesto, we say when New Vision Party comes to power, we are going to give free health insurance to the people in this nation. We are going to register our children from the birth up to 18 years. We are going to pay our old age from 60 years and above. And I'm telling you, as I'm talking to you now, Prophet Nkansa is not in power, but I have started giving the free health insurance to most of the people in Ghana. I went and give free health insurance to the people in the northern region, which the media came and witnessed the program. Last month, I went to Eastern region at Chebi. I give free health insurance to the people in Chebi or in Abuakwa South. I'm telling you, people are saying this is the time for all Ghanaians to follow Prophet Nkansa, for him to come and take over this nation, for God to do whatever he wants to do for the people in this nation.
Now, Prophet, tell me, let's now talk about the bribe that you claim that you gave to the EC. What came to your mind when you were bribing the EC official?
Well, let me tell you something. It is not that Prophet Nkansa entirely give a bribe to the EC officials. You know, in 2008, Prophet Nkansa filed his presidential nomination forms and submit the forms to the Electoral Commission, and I was disqualified in 2008 elections. So I couldn't get a chance to contest the presidential race. And this time, I tried all my possible best to do my things generally. So I can assure you, about 3 weeks ago, I sent my General Secretary to the Electoral Commission to go and make some inquiries about the new register, so that if we can have some copy to help us to fill our nomination forms. But when I send my General Secretary to the Electoral Commission, the information that he brought to me is that we cannot have the original copies, or we cannot have the register from the Electoral Commission. So we have to try all our best to fill the form. But some of the officials in the Electoral Commission gave their numbers to my General Secretary to be given to me to call them, and they have something secret to tell me. If I can meet their demands, then they are going to qualify my nomination and submit it. But if I cannot meet their demands, what I will do to fill my forms is not their concern, but when I bring the forms, they will disqualify me. So when he brought the numbers to me.
Now, Prophet, tell me, your General Secretary is your son. Are you a serious politician?
Why are you asking that?
I'm saying that your General Secretary is your son. Are you a serious politician?
I'm a serious politician. Why are you asking this question?
I need to understand, because if you have a party in which your son is the general secretary and you say that you have hit the ground campaigning and you are winning the election at a time when you've given bribe to an EC official and the case is pending before the police, one will wonder whether you're really serious. That's why I'm asking.
Yes, it's a question that you are asking. Let me finish narrating the story to you before you ask this question, because as I'm talking to you now the presidential candidate for DC, the director parties, is the son of Dalati. A son of Dalati is now a presidential candidate of Dalati's party. So what is offense for my son to be a general secretary to the New Vision Party? What is wrong about it? Let me tell you something. I sent the General Secretary to the Electoral Commission to make some inquiries, and he brought information to me that some officials, the Electoral Commission said I should call them. I called these two officials, and they told me that, Prophet, this is the time to tell you the fact. If you can bring something to us to work for you, then we can qualify your
Prophet,
nomination.
Prophet, can you hear me, Prophet?
I can hear you, my brother.
Good. I'm saying that, I'm asking, when did you pay this money to the EC officials? When exactly?
About 2 weeks ago. I've paid the money more than 2 weeks now.
Where?
To the Electoral Commission. About 3 weeks ago, they gave their numbers to me. I called them and they requested this money.
So
that I should bring them 10,000 Ghana cedis.
Right.
So that when I bring them the 10,000 Ghana cedis, they are going to work it for me. So that when I bring the nomination forms, they will qualify. So
Prophet,
I send 1,600 Ghana cedis.
So Prophet, you did.
Secretary. Yes.
Prophet, so you did not pay the money during the filing of nomination. Is that correct?
I paid the money 2 weeks ago. I paid 1,600 Ghana cedis to them, and they asked me the balance of 8,400, and I told them, coming to submit my forms, I'll bring them the 8,400 Ghana cedis.
Right, Prophet, kindly hold on the line. We'll take a quick break and we'll return to you. Prophet Incansa there. We'll take a snappy break and we'll be right back to continue the conversation with Prophet Incansa. Stay with us. Welcome back to PM Express, and tonight we're asking the question, is the Electoral Commission compromised? My name, as always, is Stephen N.T., and I have with me in the studio Dr. David Kanga, who is former Deputy Chairman of the Electoral Commission. He's joining us in the studio, sir. It's a great privilege to have you here with us.
Thank you very much.
Now, listening to our chat with Prophet Incansa, do you think that we should take his allegation? I mean, I know that this is a case the police is investigating, but do you feel that we should take these allegations and the circumstances surrounding it serious?
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, you can look at the whole thing from two different lenses. There's a lens of perception, there's a lens of reality. You could also be looking at legalities, whether it's we can prove it right or wrong. But what is important is for us to deal with it as quickly as possible and leave it to rest so that the Commission can continue with its work. Because true or false, if we drag this, we may be putting certain ideas into people's minds, and it will not augur well for the Commission. We should deal with this quickly and leave it so that the Commission can deal with this work.
When you say it will not augur well with the Commission, what exactly do you mean?
Well, what I mean is that, perceptions are perceptions. If we drag this, Electoral Commission staff have taken bribe from somebody and all that, people may not get the full story. And so even at the end of the day, when we have dealt with it and it has perhaps been proven not to be true, those messages will still be lingering on in people's minds. And at the end of the day, we may have results of an election and people will start saying, oh no, you know, those people, they even said they took bribes, and then they start judging the results from that angle. That is why I'm thinking that as quickly as the police can work at this, so that the truth will come out, and if the truth comes out, whatever actions have to be taken should be taken quickly, and then the commission is left to do its work. That's what I mean.
So, I mean, when you say all go well for the Electoral Commission, does it also include the fact that this could be casting doubts over the credibility of the Electoral Commission and its chairman?
You see, I like to emphasize the commission, not the chairman, because the Constitution is set up a commission to do the work. The chairman is only the leader, and we shouldn't be putting too much on the chairman, because when we do that, we create problems. We personalize the institution, and this shouldn't be the case. But what I'm saying is that perceptions are perceptions, and you need to clear the minds of people so that those perceptions don't go into reduce the confidence that they ought to have in the institution. And that institution is a very, very important institution for Ghana. And if somebody said it is the hub of the democratic or electoral governance of the country, and so we should not do anything that will cast the least doubt in the minds of people about the ability of the Electoral Commission to deliver credible elections.
Right. We will get onto the phone line now and speak to Dr. Michael White-Pesa, who is joining us now. Good evening, sir, and thanks for your time.
Good evening, my brother.
We're discussing this bribery allegation, which appears to be engulfing the Electoral Commission. What are the likely consequences that this is going to have on the Electoral Commission? Looking at that, we have just barely a few days, like 40 days to the elections.
Well, from my perspective, I think the allegation involves individuals who happen to be working in the Electoral Commission. We need to separate the Electoral Commission as an institution from the conduct of individuals who happen to be working in there.
And what happens if we don't? What happens if we don't do that?
Well, if we don't do that, then we are deliberately trying to denigrate the Electoral Commission and cast unnecessary negative aspirations at the Electoral Commission. So we need to really caution ourselves as to the extent to which we and the manner in which we discuss this. We can only say the Electoral Commission is corrupt or has become corrupt if the body as an institution made up of individuals collectively decide to engage in activities that we describe or legally are described as corrupt. As it is now, there is no evidence, not even the alleged case actually involves the institution. The alleged case actually involves individuals within the institution. Just like in the police service, just like within the religious community, just like within academia, just like within any other institution in this country, you will find one or two people who one time or the other will go against the standard norms and practices of the ethics of their particular institutions. And oftentimes, we tend to basically treat these ones as individuals deviating. Why do we want to rush to conclusion that the Electoral Commission has become corrupt or the Electoral Commission is compromising itself? I think that we need to really be very careful how we examine the Electoral Commission with respect to this particular case. Otherwise, we are basically going to be rushing to conclusions that may not necessarily serve this nation very well.
But Dr. Pesa, as much as we will be careful, as much as we will cautiously probe the issues. The Electoral Commission is not above reproach.
Of course, the Electoral Commission is not above reproach, but we have no evidence so far to even suggest in the least sense that the Electoral Commission is involved in anything that is bad. I think that is the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that we can only discuss the Electoral Commission in the context of corruption if there is any evidence that the institution is actually or has actually acted in an improper manner. As it is now, there are individual Ghanaians who are working within that institution, and they conducted themselves in their individual capacities as the alleged cases may have suggested. We should not in any way transplant or extrapolate their particular conduct into the entire institution that for several years have actually been the center of our democratic governance and have held our democracy together for quite some time now in a very, very commendable manner.
Dr. White, let me crave your indulgence and quote from former President Kufuor, who spoke to journalists during a courtesy call on him by the independent candidate Joseph Yeboah. He said that, "I don't want to work on allegations, but I seriously would plead with the people entrusted with a unique position of the Electoral Commission under the Constitution of Ghana. They are not unaccountable. In due course, the Electoral Commission will know whether they served the country as the Constitution intended it to serve the people. If any person is entrusted with this very high position to help give government to the people and they begin to play hanky-panky or work to bias anything, if they don't account for it today, they will account for it tomorrow. I'm concerned that the right thing should be done." Coming from somebody like former President Kufuor, is this something you think is in the right vein or is in the right direction?
Well, of course, I think that the former president's comments could go for any other institution, that they will all account for their stewardship, just like the presidency, like Parliament, like SHRAJ, like NTC. I think that perhaps he's basically using the Electoral Commission in the context of what has happened as an institution to illustrate a much bigger point that he was making within the context of transparency, accountability, and of course, democracy or democratic governance. I think that we need to be very careful, especially for individuals who in one way or the other, have been groomed through the mill under the agencies of the Electoral Commission. This is not the first time the former president has raised a concern about the Electoral Commission. There was a time when I think he suggested that there is a need for the Electoral Commission's mandate to be either renewed or should be periodic or whatever the case may be. I think that we always need to revisit the wisdom of the framers of the Constitution and why they made some members, the position of some members of the Commission as it is right now. Because by making it and creating it to make, by creating it to be equivalent to certain levels of the judicial system, they have in a way insulated the higher levels of the Commission from the possibilities of being manipulated by political actors. I could not see any better way of doing this than that, because if you actually subject it to a situation where it needs to be renewed or each term has to end and others come, you are going to have political parties and political actors coming in and basically choosing people that obviously will compromise the institution, and that problem might create the kind of situation that we are discussing right now. So I will say that in the broader context, I don't want to believe that the former president is actually imputing or alleging that the Electoral Commission is corrupt. I think that his example of the Electoral Commission on the basis of the alleged cases where individuals were actually to be blamed is unfortunate. But at the end of the day, it's also a caution that should be well taken by all state institutions.
Now, Dr. Kwesa, if we look at the current environment now, the EC has to go to court because the New Vision Party says it's going to court to place an injunction on the election. The NDP, which is not very happy that its candidate has been disqualified, is also going to court. And now there is this allegation. And now, and beyond that, there are all these issues of secret tapes hanging in the electoral environment. How do you think the Electoral Commission, under these circumstances and what appears to be the tension existing, how should it be handling this?
Well, I mean, I think the Electoral Commission should be handling the things the way it is handling them. At the end of the day, one thing that is for sure is that you cannot blame the Electoral Commission for things like secret tapes. And of course, I think that it is perfectly within the right of the political parties that try to go to court. The Electoral Commission is not saying that they shouldn't go to court. And I think that it will not be the first time that the Electoral Commission has also been dragged to court and has actually argued its case out of the court. We have two most recent examples where the Electoral Commission actually prevailed. Its position was basically validated by the Supreme Court. And so I think that we should see the political terrain as much broader than just the commission alone. There are things that go on within the political terrain that clearly did not fall within the purview of the Electoral Commission. Issues about secret tapes, we need to be able to leave them to the security services, the police services, the intelligence community, and so on and so forth. They have to deal with those things and deal with them ruthlessly, because the national security of this country should not and must not be allowed to be compromised by any group of people or by any individual whatsoever. That said, we must actually be supporting our state institutions as individuals. We must not in any way be in a hurry to read negative meanings to institutions, because the moment we begin to denigrate our institutions, we begin to lose the very essence of our democratic system. And in the final analysis, we may end up plunging this country into chaos. So we need to be able to continue to repose the confidence that originally was vested in these institutions and keep a watchful eye on them and help them build that kind of credibility that ultimately will serve us and our democracy.
So would you say that with these allegations, perhaps the Electoral Commission is compromised and it's time to kick out Afari-Gyan?
Of course not. Why should that be so? I mean, you should know that my answer to that question will just be, of course not, because I've argued that the allegations have nothing whatsoever, in my mind, to do with the commission as an institution, let alone to do with the commissioner, Dr. Afari-Gyan. The allegations so far have been surrounding individuals who happen to work within the institution, who wanted to use their position within the institution, so to speak, as alleged, to accrue some.
But Dr. Kwesa, individuals run the commission, so it is these individuals who collectively come together to form the commission. So an allegation like this should be an indictment on the leadership.
Well, let me tell you what. Who will be taken to court in the case of this allegation? Will it be the commission or the individuals? No, I need an answer to that.
You need an answer. The individuals, yes, of course.
Of course. So that tells you clearly that there is no way whatsoever that you could be, claiming that because the individuals work in the institution at this point in time has become corrupt. No, I think that in this country, sometimes the way we discuss issues really tend to suggest that we are quick to basically create negative perceptions around state institutions. And it's a very, very bad precedent that we are setting for ourselves. Your answer is right. It is the individuals involved here. It is not a collective decision by all the individuals within the Electoral Commission as an institution. And for that matter, the Electoral Commission should not and must not in any way be, seen as having compromised its reputation whatsoever.
Right, Dr. Kwesa, we'll come back to you again, and we'll be grateful if you could stay on the line. In the meantime, we spoke to the Electoral Commission for a reaction to all of this, and let's hear what their response are.
Well with you.
Definitely, if you are an institution and you have problems, this kind of thing is not welcome, naturally. But let me say that the matter is under investigation. These are allegations, so they must be treated as such until the findings are out. Let's not jump to hasty conclusion. I want the public, to refrain or to desist from jumping to any hasty conclusion. We've come a long way, so let's not use this to mar the image of the Electoral Commission, because the Electoral Commission is a credible institution and must be respected for that. These are allegations. They have not been substantiated, so that nobody should say that the Electoral Commission lacks credibility. I think it is an erroneous impression that is being created.
Well, that's the principal public relations officer of the Electoral Commission. So, Dr. Kanga, listening to her, and then in your own opinion, would there have been a better way of responding to these allegations?
Thank you. The response, is the same caution I gave right from the word go. Listening to the prophet
in cancer.
Prophet in cancer, the last bit one before he went off, I have a feeling that if he didn't pay the whole amount, I want to go on that. In fact, since yesterday, I've been trying to pick pieces from everywhere. One will think that perhaps somebody maybe tried to receive money as part payment for the rest of the amount to be paid. And the only thing I would say, and that is where I would say maybe there was a problem, will be that if that was the case, those officers should not be receiving. It should be officers who directly deal with finance, who should be receiving cashiers and whatnot. Now, from that angle, I have a feeling that maybe there's a mix-up. And that is why from the word go, I said, let us take our time. Let everything clear up.
Mix-up? What possible mix-up could there be in this?
Meaning that somebody played a role he shouldn't have played. If prophet in cancer brought a part payment and a cashier was made to receive and issue a receipt for that part payment, there will be no way the allegation of what do you call it?
Bribery.
Bribery would come into it. And so I'm saying that we need to be careful. Let us hold our fire, and let everything be investigated.
Thoroughly.
The other thing and I like what Dr. Peter was saying, let us be careful not to mix individual
credibility with institutional
credibility. We should not mix the two. We should be very, very careful. Because, look, 19, 20 years is not a very short period. And yet, this is a commission that stood up firm and did well for us to have a smooth sail up to now. So these are things, and that is why I say we can look at it. There are two angles. The legal aspect is going on. I want to encourage the commission itself also to continue to begin to work on the corporate aspect. There is, the legal aspect. If they are found to have indulged in bribery, they should be dealt with. And I will not have any sympathy for anybody. If you are found to have done wrong, let the law.
But are there any? Let me ask you. I mean, because you are former deputy chairman, are there any precedents within the commission of which you've had instances where members of the commission who are in different capacities have been corrupted through bribery?
And not for the 19 years I served on that commission.
Perhaps.
And I can even go back to the 21 years I served in the electoral process, because I was also...
Perhaps it didn't come to light, you wouldn't say so?
No.
That a lot of things possibly were going underground.
For instance, if some people had their own interpersonal problems and it didn't come up, nobody came to report. I can't go around nosing and saying, no. But I sincerely think we should not play this like we will play a case of any other institution. Remember one thing, and I've been saying that, you see, if you play this too hard and it stays on people's minds, the subconscious works in many, many, many mysterious ways. There will be a day when we have dealt with the matter and we have even found that there was no truth in it. It will still be lingering in people's minds, and they will be saying, oh, that commission, maybe they declared this result because somebody took money or this and that. And that is why I'm saying we need to be very careful. And I'm happy that somebody is supporting that perspective. We have to be very careful. The commission's statement, if it's a statement from the commission, I respect it, because the emphasis is, let us not drum too hard when even we have no dancers. You see, I don't know whether you get what I mean.
I do.
We shouldn't be drumming too hard when there are no people to dance. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen the proof. So let us not begin to draw the lines before the case has been dealt with.
Let's now hit the phone lines again if we have Prophet Nkansa there to get a few reactions from him again. Prophet, good evening, if you're still there.
Thank you, sir.
Good. You've heard all the discussions that are going on back and forth. Tell me, honestly, between yourself and your God, what are you expecting to be the outcome of the court case you have currently?
Well, as I said, when I gave the money to the secretary to be given to the Electoral Commission, they called me back that, Prophet, we have received 1,600 Ghana cedis from your secretary. And when are you bringing the balance to us? And I told them that when I'm coming to submit the forms, I'll bring the balance of 8,400 to them. So all of this movement, I always inform some of the media people. Since the Electoral Commission requested this amount from me, I was shocked. So I quickly informed one media man from GBC, who is Mr. George. He's in a newsroom. I informed him that the Electoral Commission has requested a bribe from me, which I was shocked. I don't understand why Electoral Commission wanted to take a bribe. So they told me that, Prophet, we will help you to monitor them and see whether truly they will take the bribe. I told them I wanted to report the matter to the police. They said, no, I don't have any evidence, so I cannot report to the police now. So when we send 1,600 and they call me to bring the balance, so this Thursday, I went to the Electoral Commission to submit my forms. When I reached there by 3:30, I think Mr. Sumeni here that have come to the Electoral Commission to submit my form. So he quickly came out. And when he saw me, he called me to come and see him. So I follow him like he's going to his office. So on the way going to his office, he asked me, did I bring the balance? I say, yes, I brought the balance. So I put my hand into my pocket and removed some money, which was 1,000 Ghana cedis, 50 notes. 1,000 Ghana, and give it to Mr. Asumani. But he didn't count the money in front of me. He came to his office to count the money. And later he came back and called me that, Prophet, I cannot take this 1,000 Ghana cedis to Chamai because we have taken 20,000, 30,000 from some political parties and qualified them. So I cannot take this 1,000 Ghana cedis to the Chamai to qualify your nomination.
Prophet, these are wild allegations you're making right now on our network, and the problem is with that is we're unable to verify that he told you expressly that they have taken 30,000 and 20,000 from other people. Do you have evidence of this, like in form of recording or anything?
Well, I couldn't record that one, but I have one media with me. I have my deputy general secretary with me, and Mr. Sumani told me if I'm not serious, they are going to disqualify my nomination, so I should take my 1,000 Ghana cedis back. You can call Mr. Sumani and ask him if I didn't give him 1,000 Ghana cedis on this Thursday at the Electoral Commission. I swear my everything. I give him 1,000 Ghana cedis at the Electoral Commission and he returned the money back to me. That I'm not serious. They are taking 20,000, 30,000 from some people and qualify their nomination, but they just wanted to consider me as I'm only a pastor in the race. So if I cannot pay the 10,000, then I should take my 1,000 Ghana cedis back. So I just took the money from him and he left me to the hall. So when I submitted my forms, I was disqualified. So on this Saturday, I called Mr. Sumani that goes so good, I couldn't get a bribe for you people. So you have disqualified my nomination forms. By the way, bring my 1,600 Ghana cedis back to me to pay my debt, because I owe some people to pay. And Mr. Sumani told me that he will ask Mr. Santikisi to bring me the money. So I called Mr. Santikisi, and when Mr. Santikisi was talking, we recorded Mr. Santikisi on our mobile phone. And Mr. Santikisi told me that he will give the money to the sister to bring it to me. I said, okay, then I'll wait for the money. So later, Mr. Santikisi called me that he has given the money to the sister, and the sister is coming with a taxi driver to come and give the money to me. So I quickly called the same media people to come to my office to wait for the money. I told them that the money is coming. Electoral Commission is sending the money back to me. So I want the media to come and cover the show. What will happen there? So the media, GDC guy, and the other TV station guy, Mr. Kivia, they all came to my office with a cameraman. So immediately the taxi driver arrived at my office. The taxi driver brought the money to my office.
Okay.
And the media people saw the money and interviewed the taxi driver. Where did he brought this money from? And the driver said, yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Prophet Daniel Nkansa, for your time, and we're grateful for your comments. Dr. Kanga, you must be worried about these utterances, right?
Very, very worried. Because I worked in that commission. As I sit right now, and when I was at the commission, I kept telling people, and even I made that statement here too, the commission has a great mandate, and we shouldn't joke with it. These allegations are really serious. I can't remember at which point either the chairman or a deputy chairman, or because if you're talking of Mr. Somenin, the more senior officers are then commissioners, because he's one of the senior directors at the commission. Who is going to tell him to go and collect money and bring? And you know, and that's why I said, let us stay our fire and let the process of investigation
go on before we draw
and
any
we
wrong
see
conclusions.
we see what the case is, because as it's going back and forth now, like I said, I have a feeling that the 10,000 filing fee, perhaps he sent part of it, and it is wrong, and I can say that emphatically. When I was there as the deputy chairman for finance, I used to tell everybody, no one officer should receive money on behalf of the commission. It should be the cashier, and the cashier should receive money with a receipt book.
So if it's part payment, then it should be said clearly that it's part payment of the filing fees. It is stated
clearly there that part payment for nomination, you know, so that it is clear. So I can only say that is where I'm a bit worried about. But I cannot see the other allegations as having any basis. I'm not happy, because I don't want to think that the commission, no,
Okay, right. We'll quickly run through some of your messages that are coming in. Alukus in Tamale says, indeed, the EC is compromised, but what is significant is this bribery scandal. In this bribery scandal is that the two parties, that is the giver and the receiver, are all guilty. And this President Kufuor bribed the EC before. Desperate people are doing everything to destroy the Electoral Commission. I'm very disappointed. This is from Kwame Takrady. And then Charles from Tamale. Charles from Tamale. Let me just go back to this text message from Kwame Takrady, which says that did President Kufuor not bribe the Electoral Commission? I'm afraid I don't know what dates you're talking about, and I wasn't there. You were in there also. Well, and then this one from Charles Tamale says, NT, the position you are assuming on the Electoral Commission boss is unfortunate. Stop fanning the fire by asking for the sack of the EC boss. Well, Charles, I must say that we are here to ask the relevant questions, and I think my question was fair. So we get clarification on the issues as they come up. And Martin from Bolga says, if temptation is to the devil, then the devil is to prophet in cancer. I think he's an agent of Satan to tempt our electoral success. And then this one from Slim Pediatrician says, I think EC should be well scrutinized and monitored before, during, and after the election. Anything that can and will happen, I think 70% depends on the Electoral Commission. And Stephen Quay says, so when will Ghana stop corruption? Emmanuel Mensah says, a country full of bribery and corruption. May God deliver us. And Aite James says, both the givers and receivers are guilty of corruption. Let the whole world get it clear that the EC as a state institution is not corrupt, but the people working in it who selfishly seek hungry personal materials are the peddlers in corruption. Shame. That's from James Akwete Somaya. And Jerry Elikem Glyph says, this is a minus for the hard-won reputation of the Electoral Commission. I hope the police will go all length to investigate this rather unfortunate and embarrassing attitude. And Paul Will says, I can't digest the fact that the EC is also involved in corruption. Paul, we have been saying that it's very critical for us to separate the two, separate the individuals who receive the bribes from the institutional credibility of the Electoral Commission. I hope the police will go all length to investigate this, Jerry says. And then King Kwabinho says, why do they want to disturb God giving the peace we have? God save Mother Ghana. And this one from King Kwabinho again. Why did they? Well, I've read this. Ike Boateng says, this is very critical and it must be critically looked into as well. It really puts a question mark on the credibility of the Electoral Commission as an independent office. God save Ghana. And Hope Global Hujah says that I still believe in the Electoral Commission. Well, I still believe in the EC too. Don Morgan says that I think EC boss must be done away with. They are all corrupt. And Yamson Ishmael says, this is a primitive way to discredit the EC and its officials. Should there be a bribe? Why not from a potential winner, but someone incapable of winning? What would that be for? To help him lose? Well, or for the forms to be accepted, then what next? That's from Ishmael Yamson. And Andrew Kwabena Kranchi says the EC is making the country very unsafe. How can we tell if there are much more EC officers there who will trade the peace of this country for huge sums of money? Daniel Yao Akon says the silence of the EC boss on this issue is worrying, to say the least, though he has not personally been named as a direct recipient in this allegation. Dr. Afarijan, in my honest opinion, will do himself and his reputation a lot of good if he makes a comment. Dr. Kanga, do you agree that the EC boss should be commenting about this to put it to rest?
I do not think so. Not at this stage. Not at this stage. I will think that he needs to take the information carefully, analyze it carefully, and see where things are going. But because, as I said, there is the corporate action, which we should be expecting. In other words, I expect that the commission itself will be looking at all that happened and is maybe trying to determine, has somebody done wrong? If somebody has done wrong, how grievously has he done this? And so it may be that when they've gone through, if they find that somebody deserves to be punished, irrespective of the legal processes that can go on, the management of the commission could say, look, we are taking the following actions in the interim. So that's why I said there are two angles. And I do not think that it will be fair for us to expect that they should rush to the press to start making comments, because it's quite a serious matter.
Quite a serious matter, Dr. Kanga. Thank you very much. And Blee Pela from Nalong, Benjamin Yamuaba from Koforidia, and Isa Duma from Wa, and Yamiche from Nkranza. Your message is all sums up to say that the prophet is a liar and has not been truthful to Ghanaians in making these allegations. My name is Stephen Enti, and I'll go back to Dr. Pesawai to get your closing remarks, sir.
Well, thank you very much. I think that this is the first time I have listened to the prophet in question. I have reasons to actually call on the police and the security agencies to actually do a more professional and tactful investigation into this matter. I think listening to him, he is making very, 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 very damning allegations, not only against the individuals, but also implicating the commission as an institution in it, although the commission as an institution, in my view, has not taken any collective decision to deal with him the way he has narrated the case so far. Is it possible, and this is just a question, is it possible that this individual, and here I mean the prophet himself, has deliberately set up this whole process in order to denigrate the Electoral Commission? I think that this is one case that will really, really test the professionalism and the competence of our security agencies. Fortunately, some of the comments he made on your show tonight, he actually argued that there were media men there present when the individual was saying that the money he brought was not enough and so on and so forth. Is it possible that we could ask him to produce these media men, and is it possible to ask these media men to either confirm or deny the very, very details of the allegations that he has given? Because he made mention of the official at the commission saying that some parties had come to bribe them with 20,000, 30,000, and so on and so forth on your show tonight. And when you ask him whether he has recorded evidence, he said it was said in the presence of two other media men and his deputy and so on and so forth. I think that he has provided some lead in this case to be able to ascertain or basically trash this whole allegation. And those individuals, media men or otherwise, depending on what position they take on this matter, must also be cognizant of the fact that as long as this issue goes to court, they'll be called upon to provide some more detail or become witnesses. And their own reputation in this society could also be called into question.
Thank you very much.
Again, let me just emphasize that we should separate the institution as a commission from, two individuals or any individual who misconducts himself, allegedly.
Thank you very much, Dr. Michael White-Pesa, for your time here. And I was joined on the show by Dr. David Kanga, former Deputy Chairman of the Electoral Commission. And you heard also on the telephone Prophet Daniel Nkansa, the disqualified MVP presidential candidate who is making so much allegations against the Electoral Commission. Thanks to you for watching, and thanks for your comments and suggestions. My name is Stephen Enti, and good night. Constituency Watch follows right after.